If there's a heaven, this is what I imagine it would look like. This is picture perfect beauty. I don't know what you want to call this, but this is just like spectacular. The clouds look like they were painted by God. It's just amazing. We got here like just barely in time. I just wanted to make a point to those of you who are thinking about moving to Florida, and I know how worried you are because it's, I don't mean just Florida, but anywhere. If you're moving out of state, it's like a big move. Even if you don't have kids, if it's just you, it could be very scary to make moves like that because you're like, you know, am I going to get a job? And a lot of times they don't want to hire you until you get here. So do you take the risk? If you do take the risk, what if you don't find a job or one that pays you what you want? And what if you can't find the right apartment or the house, or you got dogs and apartments won't take certain type of dogs, so you have to buy, or you need to figure out a house that will. And I want to highly recommend that you do not go through Craigslist to find an apartment. I would definitely get a realtor. They can find a house that you could rent. They will take dogs. So something to think about. And you could pay a little extra and go month to month. So you're not stuck in a place that you don't know and turns out maybe you don't like. Because 99% chance that you will find a different neighborhood that you would like. And if you're stuck in a year contract, you're going to be stuck paying rent for the whole year. And you don't want to do that. So I think you got to be very flexible, and the less stuff that you have, the better. I promise you. Just get rid of the stuff. You might shed a few tears. Take pictures of the things that you don't want. Get rid of it, because when you move, especially if you move down here to Florida, we don't have basements and attics. Even if you have a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house back up north somewhere and you got a basement, and even if you don't use an attic, and even if you don't have a basement up there, you're going to be shocked at A, how expensive it is to move your stuff, and B, that when you get here, you're not going to have room to put it where you want it, unless, again, you have a humongous house. It's just less stressful when you don't have to pack all that stuff, and it could take you a good year to get rid of things, or to get through the process of wanting to get rid of stuff, because your first round is like stuff that you don't want, but then you're like, oh, I need this, I can't get rid of it, you know, so-and-so gave it to me. But after you think out loud and talk about these things over and over, you go in this big circle, at least we did. It's like just coming down to Florida. Do I come to Florida? Don't I? Do we go to the Carolinas? Should we just stay here in Ohio? What happens is if you think too much for too long, you don't do anything, and you don't go anywhere, and you become paralyzed from fear. So I'd have to say, at least do something. Just start getting rid of stuff. That's your very first thing that you got to do before anything, because that gets you in a mindset where you feel a little more comfortable. Like, all right, all I got now is the family and the dogs. I don't have stuff to worry about. There's just one less thing that you don't need. And it just gets you in a momentum, just gets you moving into the right direction. And you may not know what the outcome's going to be, exactly where you're going to be, but that doesn't matter. Just starting off with getting rid of the stuff. Getting rid of the stuff just becomes very, very helpful and makes it easier and less stressful. And it's good that you talk out loud with your family here on our channel on YouTube. We love having you here and hearing, you know, what you are concerned about, because everybody else has pretty similar concerns. Even if they have kids or don't have kids, it's just a very scary move. And I don't mean just here to Florida. Like I said, it could be anywhere in the world. We're going through the same thing right now because we want to travel the world, but we're like, okay, do we sell the house? We don't sell the house? Should we rent the house? Should we just stay here and not travel the world, just go on vacation? But that's not what we really want to do. And life is so short and it goes by so fast. And I'm like, we got to do what we want to do right now. Time is ticking. So I'm in the process of getting rid of more stuff. I literally want to have like nothing but our carry-on bags and what few things we have, like pictures. I'm going to you know, put it in a pod, and we'll probably head off to Spain first, and after that we just don't know where we're gonna end up. We really don't, and that's a little scary. It's like, you know, where do we go? Where do we want to go? But I'm not going to worry about it. You know why? Because I've already found out from going through this process before, is when we start this process, it leads you, kind of life takes you into the direction that you may want to go, or it helps you decide for you where you want to go. So I'm just taking those first baby steps. I'm not going to worry what's down the road 20 years from now. A lot of people do, and that's fine if that's what you like to do. It makes you feel comfortable. But I don't mind the unpredictability. Yes, it stresses me out a little bit. It's scary a little bit. We're willing to take the risk so we can have the adventure that we want in this life. Because when it's all said and done, like I said before, I want to make sure I say I have no regrets. If we go somewhere we don't like, easy enough, pack up and we move. Now the thing is, when you have a lot of stuff and you try to move, it gets very expensive. You can't keep moving if you got a lot of stuff. If you're living very, very light, it's easy to move. And if you're renting or have an RV or using Airbnb, where you're flexible, that makes your life a little easier. Now if you own a house, you could rent it out, which is great. So you could keep the house and always come back to that house if that's something that you don't want to get rid of. And that's where we're kind of a little stumped at this juncture. But I'm not going to worry, like I said, too much. But I don't want you folks to worry or over worry, because it's all going to work out okay. It really will. But continue to ask questions here. Hopefully other people will help answer. I don't have all the answers for you, but it's just getting it off your chest and talking about it. It helps you go through that circle of thinking. And sometimes you go from like complete not moving to just forget about it, just too stressful, to let's go today, to so you go around and around and around, and when you're ready to go, you'll know that you've thought about it and researched enough that you feel comfortable enough to go, and then you just make that move. But don't get paralyzed to the point where you just don't do anything. If you're not doing something every day, then you're paralyzed and nothing's going to happen. So even if you don't know when you're going to move, at least you know that you're getting rid of stuff or planning or researching, like you're doing something. So you know it's going to happen eventually. When, who knows exactly when, but you know you're making progress just because you haven't given up on the research. Because you can get just tired of it all and want to just give up and just say forget about it. So don't do that. You got to live life to the very fullest, enjoy it, and if you end up in Florida or some other state and you're like, I don't like it, doesn't mean you have to go back home to the state you were at. There's like 50 other states plus the rest of the world to see and live. So, don't think that, oh my God, if it doesn't work out, I got to go all the way back, and I don't want to do that. I mean, and there's different cities. You might come to a state and just don't like the city you're in. There's like a zillion other cities in that state. So it's really that simple. It's difficult, yes, but it's possible, and it is as simple as making that decision. And it might be out of the box. It might be a little strange for you, but definitely strange for people around you. They're going to think you're crazy for doing something out of the box. But that's what makes your life interesting, and it is your life and not anybody else's. So I wish you luck. Comment below. Share what your worries are. We love to hear from you. Maybe we could help each other just to, talk about it. So thumbs up if you like this video. Please share. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. We'd like to have you in our community. And don't forget to click that little notification button next to the subscribe button, so you'll get an email saying, hey, video was uploaded. I've been trying to do it every day, but with the roof ordeal that we had, I got behind. So sorry about that. I'm still recuperating, totally exhausted from that experience. But if you want to know more about what happened with the roof, just watch that video. I'll put a card here so you can check it out. Well, thanks for watching again, and we'll see you next time.